Hey, this is the film study from when we played that bigger group. Um, I had meant to send this out to you guys earlier, so we'll go ahead and just start and look at some of the things because I thought teams like this that were, obviously bigger, older, stronger, faster than us, we could still learn a lot because if we continue to grow in some of the areas that we're going to talk about, you'll be able to actually compete against some of these teams just by outthinking them. So let's watch a little bit of this film here. All right, so we did a 2-1 press break. But now when you get it, we need you to see the court much better. All right. So this is an obvious pass. It should be going to Victor, and then you threw it opposite for a 3-point shot instead of a layup. So now, we have to take a quick shot. And the struggle about that is instead of getting 2 points, we got three guys on the baseline. So now it's tough for us to play in transition. And again, as a smaller team, now we got to compete with them downhill, and it gets really tough, and that's how you get fouls on you. So one decision leads to a second bad one. Another situation where we're getting pressed, and this isn't even a trap, so no need to panic right here, DJ. This guy isn't guarding the sideline at all. So you right now, this isn't a trap, so it's essentially man to man right now. You still haven't dribbled, so you kind of panic and throw it without getting trapped. So if you dribble up this sideline, they have nobody here to trap you. Ethan can run down court, and then we would have broken the press, but you'd have to look up to see that first. The second thing is we want every pass to be a little bit shorter. So this guy right here can guard both Victor and Christian because Christian didn't shorten the pass. So Christian, you need to be a little closer so he has to choose. So if he chooses you, now when we throw this pass, Victor can catch it. If he stays with Victor, now you're wide open here in the middle. All right, so make sure we have proper spacing. So let's move it back just a little bit. DJ catches it. Ethan actually points for Christian right here to run a little bit further. All right, because we don't want Ethan to run up because if he runs up, DJ can't dribble up, if that makes sense. But if Christian runs up and DJ dribbles up, Christian can just run down the middle along with DJ while Ethan stays ahead. All right, so that's one of our other bad turnovers right here. And they're getting easy buckets or easy shots at least because of it. All right, we made this mistake a couple of times. I'll probably just put it once because we just need to know how to do it. So DJ, you keep chasing after the ball. Remember, it's not your job to let this guy go in the corner. And they threw it past you a couple of times. So since you helped up, they threw it below you, and now they get a wide open shot right there with you closing out. And even a play like that, you only allow it to happen once. All right, and it happened a couple times in this game. So this was actually a good job of getting the trap once it went to short corner. Ethan gets the steal. Now this is what I like and what we needed to consistently do through the game. Ethan kind of gets in trouble. Sincere stays behind the ball. All right, we throw it up to DJ. Sincere still staying behind the ball, so when DJ retreats, he has somebody to throw it to. See how easy these passes are? Now DJ needs to make sure he stays behind the ball again, and he crosses half court. Once you cross half court, when the ball gets to you, there's no way to retreat. All right, so then you're suspect of live ball turnovers. If you get a 10-second call, that's dead ball. All right, so Sincere, because he's left-handed, he's only looking left. You should be looking to throw it right back over here, Sincere, instead of dribbling to now you got to throw it over people. All right, and then there's the rotation, and then they get the steal. Here's another quick rule, just another throw in. Hey, you see where DJ's standing? DJ can't stand and play with this line right here. DJ should either get way behind the line or stay way in front of it. But you can very easily, like right there with that trap, if they were a little closer, you'd be stuck because this is an extra defender now. So just make sure you don't put yourself in that position. All right, so this possession, this is a good job right here, Nello. You made this guy commit to you, then you threw it to Sincere. Sincere, we still got to learn to read closeouts. If you pump fake, this guy's gonna jump right out his shoes, and then you'd have all this space to run to for a layup instead of having to shoot a shot. But the speed and the size of them is speeding us up, which is understandable. But we've been talking about reading closeouts for a long time. All right, Vic staying around. Hey, that's a good finish right there, Victor. All right, and they gave us a foul. All right, couple of things here when we're breaking this press. All right, way to get behind the ball. You do a good job of getting behind the ball, Sincere. But what's the problem here that you do? You dribble for what? All right, so now if you hadn't dribbled, you could ball fake. He jumps, you could dribble right around him, right? You'd have some options, and because you're dribbling and staying still, now you're forced to throw these looping passes over people. All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. All right, so when we get the ball in this time, you like I said, you do a good job of staying behind the ball. But then if you just throw a straight pass to DJ, we could be off to the races, all right? And I know you got to think a little quicker than you used to against the size and speed of these guys. But now when you dribble, you still could throw it to DJ on a line or a bounce pass, but then we throw that pass. And now that you're throwing it up, guys are able to run through the pass because it just takes too long to get there. So this team, even though they're big and long, they're not forcing us to throw high passes. Some of the things that we're not doing is forcing us to throw high passes of how we're positioning ourselves. And that's how they're getting a lot of their points and scores right there. So here's the very next possession. Um, Here's the difference. We get a trap. Sincere stays behind the ball. Christian starts to get closer to make this pass shorter. So this is what happens. A guy takes away Sincere. We got this guy taking away Christian. Now that skip pass over the top is open that wasn't open earlier. So this is a much better possession. And now we're on a 2-on-1. But here's the problem. I mean, they got some eighth graders and we got a fourth grader right here. I mean, and that's just, so y'all did everything right that possession. We ended up with a foul right there. But that's how you break the press. And that's what we need to be looking at is, hey, look, okay, what can we do better in order to be able to deal with teams like this on our side? We can't control who they put on the floor, but we can control how we play. And some of the stuff was on us. Two really good defensive possessions in a row. They throw it there. Christian closes out. We see the guy diving. Sincere runs right through that guy. All right, and already we're up the court. Oh, my bad. Let me move it forward just a little bit. All right, so now on this possession, we're forcing to their left like we're supposed to. All right, so the ball's going to stay over there. They didn't even send a guy up. If they did, Christian has been doing a good job of running up there with them. So they throw it to the sideline. Victor's not letting them out and go left. All right, they dribble out of bounds. All right, that's the way to ball pressure a team. That was perfect execution defensively. All right, so I like this play. It's kind of interesting. Ethan kind of got, like, as soon as he turned around and started dribbling, he was already crossed half court and in a bad trap zone. But this is good patience and poise. Most kids would have thrown it to Sincere right there and got a backcourt call with that many guys around him. So he has the ball there. He's pivoting to get out of trouble. And I always tell people most turnovers are done or because people don't know how to compete with their feet. You got to pivot out of traps, all right? And that's a good job. DJ probably should throw it right back to Ethan because there's three guys here. This is an undisciplined team, but they're so big, y'all are struggling with them. But this should be a quick pass, and Ethan, you can't leave him because if you leave him and get below the ball completely, way to run up Sincere. He runs up to space, and we're getting a lot better at that. DJ, you need to get off the ball right there. But here's DJ getting out of trouble with footwork. All right, so now he steps through and makes another pass. So all that stuff is really good that I know it ends up with a shot that's not made, but we got to see that y'all are growing in some of those areas that normally would be live ball turnovers way up here at half court. So that's good stuff right there. Hey, let's make them make one more play rule, So when they kind of take off here, I like the way, well, Sincere's really bodying this big guy, right? Because he kind of has to. And then he rotates quickly, and that's good. We get a kick out, and this is good, DJ, because Sincere had to play so deep and Victor was on ball, you got to find a way to guard too. So he does. That's a good offensive play to throw it back, and we get a contest. All right. Now, this is where we talk about make him make one more play. So DJ's in a closeout situation. He drives. Victor, you got to get your chest in front of that guy. All right. You can't let him gap you right there, and then they get a layup. All right. But this is what we got much better at. All right. Because this is when y'all started making y'all's comeback. All right. So we got the ball in. We stood behind the ball. We put DJ in the middle. All right. And we got down court. All right, and we got us a quick three. All right, so that's really good at breaking the press. The second half y'all did much better. This was also a good adjustment for us. Remember because we kind of pick up pretty early on 2-3, and this time we moved y'all back for good reason because we don't want to extend ourselves against bigger teams, right? Because they're bigger, stronger, faster, so they could get in lane. So there's more court to guard basically. So we tightened it up a little bit. All right. And I like the way Christian did a great job at reading these two players. So they threw it. He gets a hand on it. We didn't come up with it. But we get a hard closeout, run him off the line. And look at this. We got DJ blocking out. We got Sincere blocking in. Hey, man, they just too big. Ain't nobody mad at that. All right. And then we're up the court. All right. So good job. Good job right there. All right, we're gonna look at all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas on these plays and just kind of think about like what we could have did better because this team is big, but there's a lot of holes in their defense. So when can we run the space? What do we got to look for on our drives? So this is kind of that shoulda, coulda, woulda. So this is good. DJ runs the space. All right, get the ball to Ethan. Nothing. And I like how quick Ethan gets rid of the ball so he don't get trapped in that corner. Sincere passes it quick, so the ball's moving faster than their defense. So now we get gaps. So you can't see it right now, but Christian's on this far side back here, and you got Victor. So DJ, when you drive and make that guy guard, you should either hit Victor, and I'm not sure if you're long enough and can make that pass straight to Christian, but Victor could make it. So you got to pass that and instead of shooting a free throw runner. All right, because we got two guys in that corner. All right. And then I guess you got your own rebound. So now we get it again. We need to have better space, and Sincere should be all the way on this wing. And Ethan could be in the corner. So when this guy closes out to either one of them, we'll have an opportunity. All right. That's a dangerous pass. And this is just a quick pass to Christian, DJ. And I know you're not looking there, but we got to have that court awareness to feel that. All right. So you're dribbling. Christian's wide open. All right, so now good pivot work, but instead of pivoting a little further and throwing a bounce pass so Christian could still get a shot off, you end up throwing it over the top, which now he can't catch it from the sky. This guy's able to close out and get to Christian, take that away. Now this is Ethan cutting the space, and I don't think you could see him, Christian, but hey, if you can, when you drive, this is what you should be looking for. Instead of shooting over this guy, you should be reading this guy on your drive. If he drops to Ethan, throw it to Victor. If he goes up with Victor, throw it to Ethan. So you see that space? One more dribble, you would be able to make either one of those plays. But then we shoot a runner from really far, and we got Ethan down there, and that's who you would have went with if you would have took one more dribble. Ethan would have had a little layup. All right, so shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's all. That's all. Nothing crazy. So this is that same possession. So we had plenty of time to get back on defense. All right, they're dribbling down. Victor, you got to stop ball. We're not picking up at the elbow. So now, since you don't pick up, this guy is a threat to shoot. And now DJ got to close out way up there. And because DJ has to close out, now he can't cover corner. So you got to make sure you're not too deep because DJ can't cover both. And that's just something to learn from what this kid just did. He was a threat to score, and we had to respect it. And since DJ had to respect it, he opened up a passing lane for this guy right here. All right, so they get a wide open shot in the corner. All right, way to get your hands in there. Way to get your hands in there, DJ and Sincere. All right, good retreat dribble. And this actually is a good pass. DJ's going one way, throws it opposite. All right, that's just good basketball right now, right there. We missed. So here's the final two possessions, and we'll talk about like, hey, if this is how we learn to deal with presses consistently, it'll be all right. Now there's going to be some opportunities to make some plays outside of this, but if we execute and our spacing is right and guys are meeting their passes and creating passing lanes right by using their footwork to throw bounce passes and such, then we'll be able to break more presses like this. So the reason I like even though this team is beating us by what, probably 20 at this point, they keep pressing. Don't barely bother me because we got to figure this out. How do we deal with teams like this? All right. And then look in the second half, because they still got a lot of their starters in, you know, boom, we break it. We're in the middle of the floor. Ethan, wide open shot. Hey, we got to live with that. All right. And now we're learning how to break presses against, stronger teams. There's another, and it's funny as a coach, it's not often that you hope the team makes their free throws, but looking at the size at the bottom, I was hoping they make these so they wouldn't get a second opportunity. But anyway, this is how our press is supposed to work, or press break. All right, we throw it in. All right, usually you get the first trap there. Now listen, here's the thing. Like, eventually we want to get to the level where we don't have to robotically do the press break, right? Because this is a man-to-man press. This guy isn't paying attention. And then, you could be able to dribble up. I don't think we're there yet to consistently not turn it over and make those decisions. So, we play a kind of robotic press break, and that's okay. All right, so we throw it here. We get it to the opposite side now on the trap. All right, Diesel does a good job of not dribbling it and getting it right back because if you dribble, they're on top of you, and now you can't get it out of there. All right, we throw it opposite, and now we got a break. And now we're off to the races. They're out of position, and we got numbers. All right, and then we get fouled. Keep in mind, the pass, the ball is gonna move faster than bodies do, faster than you can dribble. So make sure that's a habit. And then again, don't let the scoreboard get in your way of understanding when you're growing and when you're not. Like again, we don't complain about other teams doing whatever they do with their press and all that stuff because they gave us an opportunity to figure out how to better go against defenses that we couldn't break our bad rules against and just dribble through it, right? Because eventually you're going to start playing at a level where you got to break the press by committee. All right, and this was some really good reps that we got. This was actually a really good tournament for us. All right, I know y'all. It didn't end up. This is the championship game. We didn't end up winning it, but it would have been better than playing in the fifth grade division and then just beating everybody and not growing in this tournament anyway. So this was a good job. You guys, keep it up and let's continue to grow.